This is the Creative Liberty Podcast. Welcome back, everybody. I'm glad you're here. It's been just a little bit of a minute. I am trying out the Rodecaster Pro 2 here in the studio, and I'm going to let this music keep playing. I love it. There we go. Drop it down a little bit. Welcome back to the podcast. It's been a little bit of a minute since I've put one out. And today I wanted to tell y'all about a podcast that I actually helped produce that I haven't talked too much about it. And mainly because it's a secret podcast, top secret. You had no idea that I was the producer of another podcast. Many podcasts like Podcast in the Dark, Unfunny, Auto-Tune, Kirk's Angels. I mean, the list goes on and on. All these podcasts I help produce. Have you ever heard of them? Of course you have. If you have subscribed to the podcast Secondary, that's the podcast. I help produce a podcast for high school students called Secondary. It's called Secondary for a few reasons. We didn't want to call it the high school podcast. That sounds too much like the High School Musical. But we wanted something that meant like high school. So a group of students chose the word secondary. And in our first, if you go back and listen to some of our first episodes, I actually had a student create the music for Secondary. And it's the music we still use. We're considering switching it up. But she created that music on her iPhone. Like, that was amazing. And then we've had several students on. I think this is going to be season 3. We kind of got lost in the seasons trying to put those out on Anchor, which then leads us to Spotify. So we had several podcasts put out. COVID hit, shut everything down. Did a couple of podcasts over COVID, and now we're back up and running as of last year and this year. So this year will be we're just going to call it season 3. It'll keep things simple because we can then use 2023 as our season 3. So we'll use the second year of the year of a school year. So now it's 22. It'll be 23 after Christmas. So with that being said, it'll be season 3, and we're even considering. We've changed the art for Secondary. I did the first art. It was just something I found on Canva, and then we had a student who did the art for season 2, and I just recently threw something together again on Canva for season 3. But we're considering changing up the music as well. Fresh start, season 3. But yeah, so I am actually teaching. We have this thing at our school called ELO, Extended Learning Opportunity, whatever, sort of a better form of study hall or classes that kids can take that they're of things that they're really interested in. And I teach podcasting. So I opened up my ELOs for podcasting. Got a ton of students in there. And but this year is the first year I'm actually teaching podcasting as a physical class. And so hopefully we're still going to do the ELO podcast, and we're going to do the classroom podcast. Hopefully are going to be just a little bit tighter, a little bit more professional. They're going to come with their A game because they're actually getting a grade for it. They don't get a grade in ELO. So to speak. But this will be a really good way for them to up their game. These are the ones that are really serious about podcasting, and so we're going to see kind of how they do. What else? What else is going on? We have a mobile podcasting cart. It's over here. So the first Rodecaster, I put it on a mobile cart with a couple of microphones. There's a spare microphone if there's 3 people. What we're also going to do, which is why I'm also recording this, because I need to test this stuff out and see how few clicks it's going to take to get to the center of that Tootsie Roll, to see how many clicks it's actually going to take for students to edit video, line it up with audio, and we're pretty sure it's going to be super simple. Also teach video production, so I've got video kids in the podcasting class and podcasters, so we're going to be working together to actually create a video podcast. So we're super excited about it. We hope you check it out. That's Secondary Voices and Topics from Today's High School Students. And we're just kind of right now in the beginning phases of doing season 3. And some of the things that as I teach the students, no swearing, keep it family friendly, school appropriate. It's not school centric. Like, this isn't a podcast where the kids go out and interview the coaches and how we're doing in sports, and they can if they want to. That's totally cool. So it's not this school, Thompson Valley High School in Loveland, Colorado. A little shout out. It's not Thompson Valley specific. It's high school specific or high school centric, because we want other high schools to kind of chime in and listen to our podcast as they're on their way to work or on the way home from school or while they're in school. We would love eventually to have a live stream where maybe we have some kids doing a live stream podcast, or we can chime in with other podcasters, high school podcasters. That would be phenomenal. We don't use Riverside or Zoom or anything like that. We're just filming and syncing this the video with the audio, but we're open to that. So anyway, I'm going to post this episode on our secondary channel and my channel, because my listeners probably didn't know that this is what I do. This is why I don't put out some of my own content, because I've been teaching the content, and the shoemaker's kids never has shoes. So anyway, so there you have it. That's what we're doing for this season. We have the Rodecaster Pro 2, 4 pod mics. We have the Rodecaster Pro 1, the original Rodecaster, and two other Rode mics on that. 3, there's a spare. That one's going to be really mobile. I've got a lot of kids in class, so we'll have 4 here or 3 here, and then those kids can take the mobile cart, the other students, and use that, and we will be accomplishing 2 podcasts per class, and then they are going to be responsible for editing and getting those out. So then the ELO classes, I'll probably still just pop the memory card and throw them up on secondary. So that's where we are. And I'm going to also show my students how to edit this, because it's not as hard as it looks, and I just want them to know that they can do it as well, and to see how all this works. I'm a hands-on learner. I believe in teaching that way. Show someone and have them do it, and then they've got it. So, all right. And with that being said, thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Go check out Secondary if you haven't. Subscribe to that channel. The Rodecaster Pro 2 has a pause button. I love it. I could have hit I had to cough. I could have hit the mute and stuff and all that, but I wanted to try out the pause button, see if it breaks it into 2 pieces of audio or just 1. All right, so go check out Secondary. Subscribe to this channel, the Creative Liberty Podcast. And I'm an art teacher teaching kids how to be creative with liberty, the freedoms that they have. If you want to just leave high school and like take a gap year or don't go to college, you can. My dream is that some future podcasters podcast started here. The next, name your podcaster. So it starts here. They can carry that podcast with them after they leave and go to college, or just start their own podcast. And that's kind of my dream. So anyway, there's another teacher over here who's teaching kids all about science. It's science. All right. Thanks again for listening. I will talk to you all again. I got a few podcasts in the barrel ready to come out. All right. Thanks, and I will see you on the next one. I'm ending audio and video and being comical for my students. I'm not that funny. All right. And this is a long pause that I'll show them how to edit out. All right. And with that being said, roll that music. Thanks for listening to the Creative Liberty Podcast. I'm your host, Major Chisholm. And until next time, stay creative. Love liberty. All those outro sayings. That's the slow fade out. Peace, friends. I totally forgot. So, video kids and podcast kids, Spotify owns Anchor, which is the platform we use to push our podcasts out. This is why we're videoing. We're going to have video podcasts. I don't know if I mentioned that or not, but I just walked over to the camera to turn it off, and I was like, wait, did I even mention the fact that you can watch our podcasts? You can see the voices, the faces behind the voices in front of the faces. So yeah, there you go. Video podcasts. We're super excited, if you can't tell. All right, that's it. Thanks.